Hey y'all, I'm Paula Deen. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm getting everything ready. I'm gonna have a few friends in for a tea party. So today I'm gonna be fixing the cutest little individual strawberry shortcakes. And you're gonna love my gooey pecan squares. And of course, no tea party's complete without some scrumptious sour cream scones that we've topped off with a sweet raspberry fig preserve. So y'all sit back. It's a tea party, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started. I've got everything gathered here that we're gonna need to make the cake part of our strawberry shortcake. And I'm gonna use 2 cups of all-purpose flour. There we go, just right into the bowl I'm gonna pour it. To my flour, I'm gonna add a half a teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 3 tablespoons of sugar. Now I'm gonna cut in 1 stick of very cold butter that I've cut up into pieces. Now you'll want to make sure that this is not at room temperature because we don't want our butter to like melt into our flour. We want it to be cut in so there's little chunks of butter. All right, so we're just going to pulse this until we see that that butter is cut into that flour. 1 more little pulse. All right, there we go. Yeah, that looks good. Almost looks like a little bit like cornmeal. Very quickly, the food processors work great for that. Now I'm just gonna transfer that to my bowl. I'm gonna make a well, and I'm gonna add 2/3 a cup of half and half. And just work that into my buttery dough. I remember when I was a young girl, my mama would go to the grocery store and she would buy those little cakes. The packages came like 6, had 6 shells for strawberry shortcake. And oh man, did we love those. But that was definitely the store-bought answer. And there's nothing like the real old-timey sweet biscuit for strawberry shortcakes. So I'm excited about making these today. All right, I've got all of our half and half mixed in. Now I'm just gonna take our spatula, and I've got some flour up here on my counter, and I'm just gonna put our dough into that flour. And you can see that our dough is very, very sticky. So that little bit of flour is gonna give me just enough to kind of knead into that dough so I can touch it without it sticking to me. And this is just perfect. Now I'm not even gonna have to roll this dough out. I'm just gonna pat it out 3/4 to 1 inch thick. And you can see how easy and quick that was to get our shortcakes together. A beautiful fat biscuit. I'm just gonna add this to the tray over here that I got going. Now you'll wanna make sure when you're making your dough for your strawberry shortcake that you don't overwork your dough. You wanna just handle it as little as possible. Okie doke. So I've got these on a cookie sheet. Now I wanna just brush the tops with a little half and half, and I'm doing that for 2 reasons. The half and half will give a little sheen to our shortcakes. Plus, I've got a little extra sugar for these bad boys, and that half and half will give the sugar something to stick to. You know, this is a dessert, so I want my biscuits to be sweet. Okay, so we're gonna pop this in to a preheated oven at 400 degrees. In they go. And while those are baking, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna finish up my strawberries. I had gotten them started. Now I'm using like 1 quart of strawberries. The larger ones I'm quartering. The smaller strawberries I'm just cutting in half. Had a junior strawberry and a granddaddy strawberry there. All right, so into the bowl they go. I'm gonna toss them with 1/4 cup of sugar. And sugar will go into those strawberries and they're gonna produce a nice juice. I'm gonna give these a quick stir so they can get to mixing with that sugar. And when we come back, I want to share with you a favorite recipe of ours down here in the South. They're called pecan squares. And it's going to be delicious along with our tea. And then later, sour cream scones with a raspberry fig preserve.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
Hey y'all, welcome back. While we were on break, I took the biscuits out of the oven and look how beautiful these little biscuit cakes look. I'm gonna use a serrated knife so that they won't crumble on me. Look in here. See that? Oh my goodness, the girls are gonna love it. Now I'm gonna come in here with my strawberries. Just kind of pile them up on there, and now I'm gonna go in for that juice. And now I'm gonna come back in here and put my lid on it. Put a few more strawberries on top of that. And you can't have strawberry shortcake without some nice sweetened whipped cream, can you? And some of my beautiful mint from the garden. Look at that. Look at that beautiful shortcake just glistening. Y'all don't mind if I go ahead and taste, do you? I don't know what to say. It's so delicious. I know my girlfriends are gonna love it. We'll move on down here because I wanna start on the next dish, and that's the pecan squares. Now, I've got 4 eggs here waiting to go into my bowl, and I'm cracking those one at a time. I'm gonna crack them first and drop them in this little small bowl so I can just give them the old eagle eye and make sure those birds were flying straight that day. And so far, so good. They look great. Got a little bit of a shell there. You know, I don't know about your town, but Savannah has gotten some nice tea rooms and some tea shops here in the last few years, and people are really into them, especially women. All right, I've gotten my 4 eggs beaten. Now I'm gonna add a 1-pound box of light brown sugar. The whole box goes in there. And sometimes your brown sugar will clump up on you. You know, if you need to, just take your whisk and go down in there and break up that brown sugar. I think that last chomp got them all. So in our double boiler, it goes. So there we go. We're gonna cook this for about 20 minutes or until it gets to 240 degrees. Now while that's cooking, come on over here and we can be mixing up our dry ingredients for our pecan squares. I'm gonna measure out 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So that's a half. And this is a full cup. I'm gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. There we go. And I've got 1.5 cups of chopped pecans that I'm gonna just toss that into our flour mixture. There we go. All right, let's come back over here and give our pot a stir. We'll stick our thermometer in and just kind of see where we're at. Okay, so it's ready. So I'm just gonna pour our eggs and brown sugar that's been cooking over our flour and our pecans. And before you know it, we're gonna be snacking on fabulous pecan squares. And I'm gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. And then we're just gonna stir that up, just like that. Just mix that until our flour is incorporated. Okie doke. That easy. I'm just gonna pour that into our pan that I've buttered and floured. Okay. Just gonna spread those out. And you can see because this is partially cooked, kind of wants to be a little stubborn. Now, we cooked our shortcakes at 400 degrees. I've lowered my oven temperature to 350. So in they go, 22 to 25 minutes. And when we come back, I'm gonna be making some wonderful sour cream scones.
I hope y'all are enjoying the show, and I want to hear from you. Tell me what recipes or videos you'd like to see me make by just leaving a short comment below. Now, let's get back to the show, y'all.
All right, y'all, that was a very, very quick 22 minutes, and our pecan squares are done. Now I'm gonna sit here and let them cool for a little bit and come on down here and I'm gonna make us some sour cream scones. I'm gonna start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Just right in there. Can y'all hear Lady Bird? She's wanting me to come out there and talk to her. All right. 3 tablespoons of sugar. This kind of sounds like our shortcakes that we did for the strawberry shortcake, doesn't it? It's a little different though. 2 tablespoons of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. In that goes. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now I've got 5 tablespoons of real cold butter, and we're gonna cut that in until, again, it looks like about the consistency of cornmeal. That looks good. All right. Now I'm gonna add 1 cup or 1 8-ounce container of sour cream. And to shake up our little prissy tea party, I'm gonna pull out my egg separator that says more Paula than prissy. And I'm just gonna, look at that, y'all, I just love it. I know you kids out there love it too. Mom and Daddy may think it's sickening, but I just love it. It's very, very important that we take time to laugh and have fun. And that's definitely one of those things that just makes me laugh. All right, so let's mix this together. You can see our dough is starting to form a ball in there. All right, there we go. Now I'm gonna bring this out onto my cutting board, and I'm gonna put a little flour up here because once the ingredients got mixed together, it became very soft again. Okay, so I'm gonna just take my spatula and get the rest of that out. Okay. Oh, and this looks very good. Now I'm just gonna pat this out about 1 inch thick, kind of pat it into a square. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna cut this into 4 squares. And I'm gonna cut them diagonally 1 time, giving us 8 triangles. Okay, that's great. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna get my grandmother's spatula and just transfer those to my baking sheet. Just like that. The dough is beautiful, isn't it? Okie doke. Last one on. And I'm gonna brush them with half and half because it's gonna give it that little bit of shine. And instead of using regular sugar, I'm gonna use a raw sugar. It's so pretty to work with. And I'm just gonna sprinkle those tops of those scones with lots of that raw sugar. All right. So in the oven, our scones go 350 degrees for about 12 to 14 minutes. Okay, so the scones are in the oven about 12 to 14 minutes, and I'm getting this tea party pulled together rather nicely, y'all. When we come back, I'm gonna pull it all together. Our scones will be ready. I'm gonna cut our pecan squares. And coming up next is raspberry fig preserves, the perfect topping for our scones.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
Hey, y'all, our scones should be ready now. Let's take a quick look. Oh gosh, they look good. They're that beautiful light golden brown. They look delicious. But I tell you what, we can't serve a scone without something to smear on it, can we? And let me show you how easy we're gonna put this together. I've got 3 cups of mashed figs, 3 cups of sugar, and 2 3-ounce packages of raspberry gelatin. So all I had to do was mix that up, and when my sugar dissolved in there, I cooked this for 5 minutes. So in just 5 minutes, our raspberry fig preserves are ready. Just put them in your jar, throw them in the refrigerator, and you can enjoy it for weeks and weeks. The easiest preserves you will ever make. And it's beautiful, isn't it? All right, so I'm gonna take my leftover extra preserves and put that over here for the girls. Oh my goodness. These look powerful good, don't they? When the scones are still warm. And I think I'm gonna have maybe a little butter. The girls and I are gonna have such a good time. The strawberry shortcake, the pecan squares. Look how yummy those look. They're out of this world. And the scones. They may not seem very exciting, y'all, but they are delicious, especially with this raspberry fig preserves. Yummy. I think you're gonna love it.
Hey, y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if y'all enjoyed this week's full episode Friday, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, friends.